What's up, guys? It's Cooper Webb, and you're listening to the MotoXpod.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Aaron Plessinger, and you guys are listening to the MotoXpod.
Save me from myself. My arms and legs are bound like an aging cold from another world. I'll scream the truth 6 feet underground. Feel alive inside yourself. Watch your enemies dispel. If I can find a way to avoid this fate.
Well, surprise, surprise, surprise. The Vital MX MotoXpod is live this week. We said no show.
Surprise.
But I lied. We decided to do a show, and we're brought to you, as always, by our presenting sponsors, Yamaha, Motor USA, and Race Tech. We love both those companies supporting us, and we just were like, you know what? Let's be nice and let's do a show. Why not? What else we have to do? We don't have any other thing else going on in our lives, right, guys? Even though I haven't introduced you yet. Go ahead. Speak up.
I wasn't going to say anything until you unmuted me, but
I really was hoping you would try to speak, and I would just leave you muted.
I said surprise, and nobody, I made a good joke. Nobody heard it.
Well, fun show tonight. Episode 361 with the 2025 U.S. Sprint Enduro champion and Pro Yamaha's Liam Draper is going to be on the line. And then championship winning mechanic Alex Campbell, also known as Peanut. He wrenches for Cooper Webb. He wrenched for Dylan Ferrandis during his 4 titles. He's going to jump on, talk to us a little bit. So a very heavy Yamaha Motor USA show tonight. Speaking of Yamaha Motor USA, as I said, both our guests work for Yamaha. The 2025 Supercross champion Cooper Webb, Yamaha. 250 West Supercross champion Hayden Deegan, Yamaha. 250 Outdoors points leader Hayden Deegan, Yamaha. Talked about Liam Draper. He's also third, I think, in points in XC1 in GNCC.
Yamaha.
And then we have the new ambassador to Yamaha, Chad Reed, back at home. Also Ryan Villapoto, Damon Bradshaw, myself, and even some guy named Steve Mathis from PolFMX, all part of Yamaha Motor USA. Proud, proud, proud.
All
Love
the
it.
cool things that you said, you just ruined it right there at the end.
Because of Steve? Yeah, sorry about that.
And yourself.
Wow, what a dick. But we are back. I hope you guys are live. Hope you're listening on YouTube, watching live. If not, if you're watching listening in the archives, that's cool too. Lots to talk about tonight. Yes? No? Kind of?
Yeah, a lot of racing to go over this past weekend.
Yeah, dude, I didn't even watch the GP this weekend.
I did.
I was at a race.
Oh, you were? Yeah.
I went to Swan.
I had my grandson's 3rd birthday and his mom, which is my stepdaughter's birthday. We just did family stuff, man. We were at the lake.
Boo.
Boo to family?
Yeah, it's not racing.
Bro.
I'm just kidding, dude.
Wow. That's why you're single and have no buddy.
Yeah,
No,
it's fun.
he's got buddies.
No,
I know what he meant.
Buddy.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Let's get this thing together. So we do have plenty to talk about tonight. I want to give a couple shout outs real quick. Our guy at Vital MX, Sean Ogden, who does our graphics and stuff, he had all the show graphics ready for me. I only had Liam Draper lined up because Alex did not get back with me until about 3 hours before showtime. And Alex was like, oh, crap, sorry, I didn't see this. And Sean threw some graphics together last second, added it, which doesn't take that long, but it's kind of still a pain in the butt when he thought he was done and doing something else. So thanks to Sean. He's our guy at Vital, behind the scenes, really doesn't get any credit for all the cool stuff he does, but when you look at Vital MX's thumbnails and all the different cool graphics and the graphics on the show and the MXGP pod and the post-race show, Sean does all that. So thanks to Sean. Just want to give him a shout out. I also want to give a shout out to Neil. We talked about it last week at screenprintingdone.com. He helps out Kiefer and Daniel Blair. I'm pretty sure he still helps out Daniel Blair. And he's basically donating 50 MotoXpod shirts that should be here any day now that we're going to put up on our website. We're going to sell, help us out a little bit with some transitioning things we're doing to move into our new phase once we're done at Vital. So if you guys are looking for anything to be screen printed, he does a lot of different stuff over there. Check out screenprintingdone.com. Neil's a big moto guy in NorCal. So, yeah, thank you for that. So let's jump into this. And I think I told you the first question is a Southwick question. So let's talk about Southwick coming up this weekend. my first question, actually, read the question on there. Let's do that. Let's start with that.
All right. How important is Southwick? We are almost halfway through the outdoor season, and both classes have a clear favorite. Will any rider step up and change the course of the title race?
So let's us talk about that. But if you're listening later in the archives or if you're on YouTube right now, give us your thoughts, give us your comments on this question. Let us know what you think. But yeah, Chase, will anybody step up? I feel like a couple guys need to step up. But let's start 250 class. Will anybody step up and at least battle with Hayden and give Hayden a run for his money?
I feel like they really need to, but I don't feel like they're going to because that track kind of suits his style. With
It's kind
how
of funny.
he,
2 years ago, that was he wasn't that good. At
yeah,
Southwick.
people were saying that, but
yeah,
they were wrong.
Just a bad day.
Yeah, they were wrong. But yeah, I see him doing well there, and
Sure.
everybody else really needs to step up and do something. But I don't know.
You don't like see a specific guy like this guy. I think is going to step up this weekend.
Nobody's jumping off the page.
How about
really.
you, Scotty? Anybody that you
No.
kind of have faith in?
Not really.
Okay, so here's the notes I wrote down, and this is a little unfair to you to peek behind the curtain. I don't necessarily tell you guys these topics, so I have time to make notes. So I'm trying to make you think on the fly.
Yeah.
So,
You set us up for failure. We get it.
well,
We're
no,
used
I
to
want
it.
to. I can give my thoughts, and then maybe we'll have something off that. So, I feel like Levi Kitchen has to lead laps at Southwick. He has to get a start. He has to lead some laps to salvage something out of his season. Now, will he? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say Levi Kitchen, at least in one of the motos, leads 2 laps.
Okay.
Because
can
I
see
feel like
that.
he has to.
Yeah, I remember him getting a really good start last year there, and I don't think he led a lap, but
Right.
that was when Deegan scrubbed past him.
Yeah.
And everybody
Oh, yeah,
thought
that
he
was
gonna,
crazy.
Yeah,
But there's a couple guys, and we talked about this last week, Scotty. The top 3 or 4 guys in the 250 class behind Hayden, Marchbanks, Shimoda, Kitchen, and Hymas, who's got the knee issue, all just terrible, terrible starts. I think they were like 13th, 15th, 14th last week or whatever, or at High Point. So my other ones are those guys, Marchbanks, Shimoda, and even Vial, all need to get starts just to salvage their season almost. Those guys have to get top 2, 3, 4 starts and give themselves a chance. If we leave Southwick with those guys getting 10th or worse starts, like it's over. I don't care where they finish. If they can't get out of the box at this point, out of the gate, it's done anyway, but it's done, if that makes sense. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like they all need to show something. I don't really. It's to me, they're all kind of fighting for second place in the title.
I agree with that.
I would kind of how I would look at it would be like who needs second in this championship the most.
All right, that's a good question.
I think that a lot of these guys are pretty kind of set where they're at. So I don't really know the inside on it.
Shimoda, we don't know, right? Shimoda's the one guy that we're not
I kind of
positive.
expect him to be the second guy, but these last 2 rounds have not been what the first 2 rounds were.
he
Because of
has
starts, though.
Yeah.
He did go down first moto, like
Yeah,
2
he's
laps
had a couple
in
falls,
too.
but
He was running 5th, 6th, something like that.
when I say a minute ago, like if these guys don't get starts, it's over. I kind of just mean like they have no, I guess,
Confidence.
Yeah, they're going to lose all their confidence. It feels like to me, they just know like I'm not going to be able to beat Hayden at all. It's over. Not for the title, but just like a race, a moto. You got to get a start. We're almost halfway through this season. You have to be good enough to get these starts. You're the top 5 riders in the 250 class in the country. You cannot be getting 10th place starts or worse consistently. You can't. Get a start or you're out. Like
Yeah, you can't.
I agree.
You can't win a championship like that, especially in the 250 class.
Yeah. So okay. Anything else from you guys with the 250s? That question on the screen. Anything else? Because I got a couple other guys in 250 class I want to talk about. If not,
keep going.
okay. Austin Faulkner has to finish top 15. Like I like to say top 10, but so far his best finishes have been 16th at Hangtown and 18th at Thunder Valley. That's unacceptable to me at this point. Yes, it's a rebuild year. Yes, you're coming off this horrible injury. Yes, you have some mental things going on. Yes, you want to finish healthy. You are talented enough to get a top 10. It's time. All the way through Supercross. We're almost halfway through outdoors. we got to get a top 15 at the least. Come on.
Yeah.
I love Austin. I love his family. But it's time, dude.
Yeah,
we got to get a top 15.
I mean, it's especially since Jalek came back and showed that the bike can get a good start. And
yeah, that's
like
actually a good
Jalek immediately came back and did better than all the Triumph guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, so it's kind of like, yeah, I think you're right. You got at least top 15.
Like, here we go with the like. I just caught myself with saying like. But anyway, Austin, some people are like, well, he's at that point in his career. Well, he's just not that guy anymore. He's not the guy he was. Dude, he was that guy last year in Supercross before he got hurt. He didn't lose his talent or his ability.
right.
He just didn't. There's no freaking, okay, I shouldn't say that. Maybe if the brain injury did something that we are unaware of, maybe he can't focus enough. Maybe his eyes aren't adjusting quick enough. You know, his what am I looking for?
His synapses aren't firing.
Well, when you reactions, and there's another word I'm looking for, but anyway, his timing, all that. Maybe that stuff is off because of the brain injury. Maybe.
But aren't there reports they're saying that at test days and stuff, he's the same speed that he always was?
That's what I've heard.
Yes, they're saying he's usually the fastest guy or has been one of the fastest guys. I
don't think it's talent. I think it's completely mental.
I think it's a mental thing, and yeah, I'm fine with him wanting to get through healthy. But a top 15. You got to get a top 15, man. Come on. Yeah. He's had some bike issues. He's had some crashes. Southwick, we need a top 15. Okay? I got one more. Michael Moseman has to get inside the top 10. He has to be 6 to 8.
He's had a good year.
He's had some good rides, but then he's had some really bad rides. We need to be consistently in the top 10, 6 to 8 preferably. He doesn't have a deal yet for next year. If you want to continue being a factory rider or a top level guy, 6 to 8 is not out of the question. It's time that we got to be consistent. No more dumb shit. No more crash. I mean, we can't help crashes necessarily, but you can't help mechanicals. But you should be in top 6 to 8 with your ability level.
He really needs to start showing something, because if he doesn't get an extension or whatever, re-sign there, I don't see him getting another factory ride.
He's going to be a Club MX or a Bar RX guy.
Bar X, He's not going to get another. There's nobody else that really needs somebody, and there's nobody that needs somebody bad enough they would take a chance on him.
Right. Yeah, I kind of feel that. Yeah.
Not at the factory level.
Yeah, I was trying to think, because I think Pro Circuit's going to be full.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of feel like there's going to be one guy at KTM. We know there's going to be one guy at KTM.
Yeah. He's going to have to really show something.
Gas. You know, maybe a Ducati. I don't know, but
maybe
your time's starting to run out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my thoughts. Do you guys have anything else on 250s? Any thoughts, Scotty?
I mean, it's the Deegan show.
Well, I know that, but that's I'm kind of putting him to the side. What do these other guys need to do? Is there any, like, what about Jordan Smith?
I can see. I'm thinking Drew Adams. He's been building. He's got good starts last week. He's in shape. He's a bigger kid. I think he'll probably do pretty good at Southwick. Maybe top 5, 6, somewhere around there.
That's heavy for when you think of the guys we've already talked about.
I mean, he was starting up there. Yeah, for sure. He started up there last week. He had some issues, but it was a sloppy track. Him being big, strong, I'd be happy
with the top 10 for him too.
Me too, but I think
if I have his results here. Bear with me 1 second. Drew Adams. So starting with Fox, 9:14 for 11th. Hangtown, 19.7 for 13th, 5:34 for 13th at Thunder Valley, 16:35 at High Point. Yeah, we're better than that.
He's starting there, and he's having issues.
Yep, but we're better than that.
He's shown the speed that he can do it. I'm hoping, and I could see him putting two together this weekend at Southwick.
I've got one that I
Bear
need
with
to
me
see
1 second if you don't mind.
Okay.
This is the Yamaha Motor USA opening chat, and I did not do the read. We talked about Yamaha, but don't forget that they have a reputation for dominance, and it didn't happen overnight. It was built over decades. Go ahead.
The
YZ story is over 50 years of iconic machines and groundbreaking innovations, and Yamaha took the championship-winning bikes and made them even better because the best don't rest. There's an article up on Vital MX about the 26 450 coming out. Some changes made, like I think hydraulic clutch comes standard. A few cool changes on that. Check that out. But also go to YamahaMotorsports.com or go to your local dealership and find all that Yamaha has to offer. Sorry that I interrupted you.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say another one that I have that I kind of expect to see. I need to see a top 5 out of his Rider D.
I don't think we get a top 5 out of Ryder D. I don't think Ryder's at the level of the Marchbanks.
I know, but I feel like he should
to see it.
Yeah, I feel like I need to see it.
He's another guy like I'd be stoked on a top 10.
Yeah.
You can
look at his results. Go ahead.
You can void the Adams talk.
Oh, is he hurt?
Yeah, he broke something in his.
Oh, he did.
I remember. I saw it in the chat. That's why I said in the middle of the read.
Yeah.
But
okay, so Ryder D has gone 13, 18, 15, 16 overall. So let's shoot for a top 10.
Let's get a top 10. Yeah.
Let's shoot for a top 10.
Fair enough.
Okay. Same topic. 450s. Jet's the best guy. This weekend at Southwick, to me, Eli must win.
Yes.
Has to win the overall.
I see him.
Title's probably gone, but to be...
I don't think the title's gone.
Okay. I say that because I think a Jet is good enough to consistently keep winning.
Yeah,
I don't think Eli... Even if Eli wins at Southwick, I don't see Eli consistently beating Jet. But I feel like he must win just for the confidence and to be still in the talk a little bit. If Jet dominates again... Like I'm done. It's over.
Even if Eli does start consistently beating him, he's gonna have to get somebody to get in there between them still.
Yeah,
which can happen.
And I mean, yeah, but I don't really see it.
Yeah,
consistently. Like it's starting.
So he's 28 down.
Yeah, I mean it's not impossible for sure, but yeah, I could see him doing well at Southwick. Like the way he rides.
Do you agree though that he must win?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, this isn't very good conversation.
How about
force yourself to disagree with me? Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I mean Jet's. Yeah, Jet's not even been the best guy in every moto, and has still found a way to gain points on them every round. Like, yeah, you got to go 1-1. Like, you have to.
Okay, do you feel the same way for say Hunter or AP that like you must win, or is it really just Eli?
Yeah, it's Eli. Yeah.
Okay.
Because anytime like. I didn't have expectations for Hunter or AP to compete with Jet, but I did Eli. I mean, in the title.
Let's be real. Jet's the reason Eli's still racing.
Yeah,
if he wants to beat him. Like that's the reason he's still there. Like he has to.
I don't think that's the only reason.
I mean, I think it's a lot of it. It's a lot of it.
I think Eli's still having a lot of fun racing.
He is, yeah, for sure.
And when, like these guys say, when they get these injuries and they realize, oh, I really actually like being at these races. I like doing this. So the injuries are probably a big part of why he's still racing, is because he realizes, I don't want to be done. I don't know that I want to be stuck at home every day with my wife and 3 kids. I want to go race.
Yeah, I had this conversation earlier. Breaks not always a bad thing.
Yeah.
I know a kid that he just moved up to big bikes and got hurt, and I'm like, it's not always a bad thing.
Sure. The other one note that I made in 450 class is Prado top 7.
Dude. Yeah.
Prado.
He's got a top 5.
Dude.
He's got to do something.
I don't know that. I'm not going to say top 5. He has to top 5 because of what the competition looks like and how bad he's been with the bike.
No,
but a top 7.
No, the top 7 would be like, okay, but he has to top 5 at some point. Maybe not Southwick.
Oh yeah, at some point, sure. I'm just talking about Southwick right now, but
okay.
I don't know. But I don't know. I'm going to say I don't think he gets there this season.
It's not been ideal.
No, it's weird.
Yeah, it's not gone near like I thought it was going to. It has not gone, I mean, even close. He's not getting starts, like nothing that he did over in Europe.
No, I don't know exactly what's going on. As I said before, I had somebody reach out with the team tell me that it's not just the engine, it's everything. It's suspension. He's just not happy. So can you fix, if everything is a problem, can you fix that enough in one season? You know what I mean?
Probably not.
Right. Like if it's just engine, like they keep kind of talking about, you probably get there, right? But if you're engine, chassis, suspension, maybe you're not gelling with the new country and the new
it's everything all
schedule,
at once.
And maybe you're not gelling with some people on the team. We don't know. If it's all those things in a big stew, it's not going to get better.
Yeah, you're already emotional because it's not going the way you wanted it to.
Giving up a little bit, like
you do start getting power, and then you know something else isn't working the way you want, and it snowballs, and it's not going well.
All right, is anybody else in the 450 class stand out to you guys that we need to discuss? Scotty, I know you're working on the YouTube channel.
RJ's been pretty damn good
But do you feel like he needs to be better,
he doesn't
or
need
he
to
will be better? Do you think he has a breakout ride in the next couple weeks?
I could see him doing a little better than he has been doing, like maybe a little more consistency. But kind of where I thought he was going to be and where he's been, like he's doing good. I would say it was a good thing that he moved up. Yeah.
And then J Coop's another one that I still think he's going to have a breakout ride, which he's had a couple moments. But sorry, I'm answering back to one of the riders. But yeah, I think like a second place, maybe a battle for a lead for a little bit, where he's really fighting for a lead, could happen. Not saying Southwick, but I could see that happening before the season's over. We're jumping ahead a little bit, but whatever.
Yeah, Jacob's been a lot better than when he moved to Star. He's done a lot better than kind of what I thought he was going to do.
Yeah. How's the YouTube chat going?
It's always good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
are they glad that we're doing a show? Or are they surprised? Do they?
Yeah, I mean they always come in, and it's going to be cool to carry those guys over when we have our new YouTube channel. The MotoXpod. I actually had some people mentioning like, why are there old videos popping up? It's like, oh, it's coming back.
Yeah,
so
it's
we're
back
just
public again.
So we're bringing those back, and we'll look forward to having the same guys come over and join us on that new one.
Yeah, so I wasn't really supposed to talk about this yet, but yes, the MotoXpod channel is back live. I had it private for a little bit. I was trying to clean some things up. There are some old videos on there that are really bad. Some old shows.
Yeah, go laugh at us more than anything. Just get us views.
But here's the deal. Right now, we have, first of all, if you search it, a lot of this, what's going to come up is the Vital stuff, as it should, because we've been heavy on Vital for 3 years. But if you search MotoXpod channel, the channel will come up. It's our logo with a blue background. It's there. We have 11,058 subscribers right now, and I'd like to see that double quickly. Once we go back to that channel, we got to start getting viewer hours up so we can get monetized, and we can do more with the show. So if you guys are bored, go check out the old channel. Look at some of the old shows. There's tons of old post-race interviews I've done since like 2018. Again, pretty bad.
Yeah,
I watched a couple videos where like when I used to do the post-race stuff, or even the race day, I used to do a lot of race day interviews, and like I held a GoPro in one hand, and I'm in the videos with my big nose, my ponytail, and my
the pony
do-rag. And I started to delete all that crap. I was like, oh, this is embarrassing. But then I was like, dude, there's some really cool stuff here with like Hunter Lawrence in his rookie season, and there's some stuff in Ryder D. There's a video of Ryder D at Freestone, I think in 18. And he's just a baby, man. There's some of the stuff on there. It's kind of cool to go back and look how we've progressed and how the riders have come along. So, yeah, feel free to go check that out. Subscribe, please, to the MotoXpod channel, and start watching those old videos.
I've got some up there too. I even have one of you've Dark running through the wild of the pits, so you can see the ponytail and.
No, I'm sure, man. But we got a lot of cool stuff coming, so we will tell you about those in the next couple weeks. While we're running low on time, as we got Liam Draper coming up. Let's do a couple of these topics that I did tell you about. I saw this topic. This is not the X Brand Forum check-in, but I did see this in the forum. And it was a guy asking, like, are you a fan of teams or OEMs? Like, I'm a Team Honda guy. I'm a Team KTM guy. Or are you more of a fan of individual riders, depending on, if they go team to team, no big deal. Like some guys, this guy in this forum chat said, like, my buddy is a fan of Chase Sexton, but he's pissed that he's going somewhere else. Yeah. Or he's a KTM fan. He likes Chase. He's pissed that he's leaving. Probably leaving. So Chase, do you kind of lean one way or the other? A little bit of both?
A little bit of both. Yeah. I lean, like, I'm more of a fan of riders for sure, but there's a few teams that I more respect teams like PC and the heritage and everything that Mitch has done over the years. But when I'm watching the races, I'm watching it for the riders, obviously.
Yeah.
But like I do like going back and looking through, what teams have done, and there's more. It's more respect than being a fan of a team, I would say.
Yeah, like obviously I'm Blue Crew thanks to my relationship with those guys. I've become a big fan of Yamaha, but like growing up as a little kid, I was Kawasaki, and I don't know why. I just thought
I've always been. Like
I thought they were cool. I like Jeff Ward, and then in the later years, it was obviously Honda. I mean, who didn't love Honda? McGrath, Stanton, Ricky Johnson, the history there. So I was always a Honda guy. I mean, I had Hondas all the way through 2006 or 7, and then at 15. So yeah, I was always a Honda guy until just a few years ago. But more often than not, it's Ryder. It's Jerry McGrath or James Stewart or whether I didn't care what team they were on. That was my guy.
I'd say when I was a kid, like in the 90s, growing up, it was more fan of like you said, like the Hondas through all the McGrath years and all that. But as I've grown up, it's more Ryder based.
Scotty, any thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely usually go for the Ryder. I mean, I've got some teams and bikes and stuff that I like, but it's like I follow Eli, no matter if he's on Yamaha, Cowie, Honda, whatever. So yeah, I would say Ryder for sure.
I'd say it's probably changed a little bit too over the years because you actually can get to know the riders.
Yeah.
Like when we were kids, you go based off a team and who was winning. You'd see podium interviews, but that's all you'd really see based off the riders. Now you know something about just about everybody in the field. Well,
and I'm fortunate enough because of what I've done for the last 8 years where I've become friends with some of the riders, team owners, mechanics. So it's like a little bit of everything. Like before I did this job, I would have probably made fun of Suzuki, but I love Dustin Pipes. I love the family, and it's cool that Kenny's there and Chiz there, but I like the Pipes family. And I have a little bit of a relationship with Dustin, like we're not best friends, but we're cool. So I want him to do well. So those things play factors for me now. But for our listeners, again, MotoXpodShow@gmail.com, man. Light up our freaking emails, man. Tell us.
Come on, dude.
We want your thoughts on all these different topics. It gives us something when we get to the email segment to read. So let us know. Like, I want to know what your thoughts on these topics are. I told Liam, were you done, Scotty?
Yeah.
I told Liam about another 5 or 6 minutes because I want to get to a couple more topics that we're touching on. Racing versus riding as just like ourselves. I used to love to race. I've done some races. We talked last week about my Loretta's qualifier, but I'm kind of over racing. I think I said this a few weeks back after I did that race in Louisiana at DeSoto because I was like, the whole weekend, one day of Moto Masters or what I think it was Moto Masters, it cost me $100. I did one class. I think I did a total of like 13 laps with parking and everything. The whole day, fuel was like $100. I could have rode at home at our local track that was open for $20 all day and rode for hours. So, and I don't really care about competing anymore. Like, it's fine. I'm not against it, but I just don't care that much.
Yeah.
So I want to get your thoughts on it, riding versus racing. I'm
with you. Like, I suck, especially at racing.
Well, you guys, neither one of you have been able to ride a lot in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But what is your passion, though? Is there still a passion to go race?
Not really.
Not really.
Dude,
I mean, I'll do one occasionally. Yeah. But also, like, I look at some of, like, the races that I would go to, and like you said, spend all weekend at it, and, like, the class I would ride has, like, 2 people in it.
Okay.
Like, what are we doing?
That's not fun for sure.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'd rather go ride with you guys all day. Like, I know we're going to talk about this soon, but like this past weekend, I just went and did the practice day at a cross country race.
Yeah.
And I paid $30 to get in, and I rode like.
Did you go to the one? Oh, you went to the one at
in Jefferson.
Diamond
Dons. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was at Diamond Dons. I got to go to that facility. I'd never been there.
I didn't even put that together when you told me you took TJ's bike.
It was cool. It was a cool place, and I probably rode like almost 30 miles, like 25 or so miles. Like, well, you're not getting that at a race day.
No.
So
for
like,
sure.
and I didn't go compete against anybody. I challenged myself. I rode, and I had a blast. Like, I rode with one of my buddies on one of the. I went out 3 times, did the loop 3 times.
Yeah.
And rode with my buddy on one of them. With the other 2, I just went out by myself and had a blast. Like,
Sweet.
it was just me. And then, like, I enjoy just me and my bike. When I start trying to, like, put that on the shelf and race, and it's like I'm putting these expectations and all that stuff to it, it just kind of takes the fun out of it, honestly.
I would agree. That's how I felt last weekend.
Yeah. The only thing that I do like, and that's why I will probably still do an occasional race here and there, is, like, the adrenaline of a gate drop and stuff is like pretty cool.
Dude,
That's
terrified.
exactly.
I'm terrified of the gate drop.
I'm terrified of it too. That's why you have
me.
That's why you have adrenaline.
I'm scared too. Every time I line up, but I got to do it at least once a year.
Yeah.
I love that feeling, dude. It's fun. Like, I don't care about racing. Once a gate drops, I'm whatever. If you want the position, you go around me. I'm not going to just let you go by me, but I don't care about racing anymore, man. I got to go to work. Like, and especially, it depends. Like, I'll do like a Moto Masters because it's older guys.
Yeah.
Everybody has to go to work. Nobody's going to blow you out for 8th place and a piece of plastic.
Yeah, and I don't even generally pick up the trophies anymore.
Yeah, if it's not number 1, I'm not going to get it.
Yeah. Bear with me 1 second. I have another topic, but one of our listeners just texted me and said that he went to the YouTube channel. There's nothing there.
Yeah, I found it. You have to find it.
Yeah, I'm
it's
gonna
the MotoXpod.
I'm gonna send him.
I put at the.
So you can get to it.
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay. Bear with me. I know this is not great radio.
I copied the at the MotoXpod 333 on the YouTube channel. So just search that. You have to scroll down a little bit. I typed in MotoXpod channel.
Yeah, that's the only way I was able to find it.
And I said that in the chat.
Okay. And I'm still not seeing it. I know it's great radio, guys. Just hang tight if you're listening. Wow. I'm not finding it on my phone at all.
You have to search channel.
I wonder if I'm on. Well, I did. All right. Do me a favor and send me the link. Text me the link real quick so I can send it to this other guy because I don't have it. Okay. The other question, and we'll get Liam on while we're discussing this, is motocross versus off-road. We just touched on it a little bit. You did Diamond Dons. Chase, you've never done an off-road race?
No.
But you've... Why are you laughing?
Because we have these conversations.
Have you gone and rode single track? Did you go with us the day?
I've been in Nacogdoches and I've ridden like trails and stuff.
Did
but
you
yeah.
go with us the week we went to Cycle Ranch or whatever?
It's Cycle Land.
Cycle Land.
I don't know that I was with you though.
Okay, and Cooley.
It was when Cooley blew his shoulder out.
Okay,
yeah.
so I was
we were
all there. Okay, so
yeah.
Do you enjoy that riding, and how do you compare that with riding motocross for yourself?
I don't.
You don't enjoy it.
I don't hear because I have a bad habit of hitting trees, just like JT does. Like,
okay,
it destroys your bike.
I'm listening. And
like,
I'm also trying to. Find
no, you're good.
Are you gonna send the link?
I'm trying. Okay, I was looking on my phone, on my laptop, and I can't just.
Oh, that's fine. I just didn't.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me a screenshot, and then I didn't know if you missed it.
It's hard on the.
I found it immediately.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard on the bike, and like you do get a lot more ride time, and for your money, it's definitely worth it more. But I don't know. I like jumping, man.
Yeah, jumping's fun.
I do like it. I do like riding it. Like when we went to and rode out by Kiefer's in Hesperia, and it was in the desert, and there was like some natural little jumps and stuff. I like that a lot more. I would go do that if I lived out there. That's all I would ride. But here, I don't like. Man, I just don't like riding in the woods that much. I'll do it.
I love it. I really love it. And then when I see, like, if you'll look on Vital at the Social Scoops feature we do every week, it's basically like your top 5 Instagram posts you saw throughout the week, and then we just share our posts and our thoughts on them. I always have 1 or 2 cool like off-road things, whether it be like Cody Webb or Stu Baylor. I'm like, man, that section looks so cool, and they do jump. They're not jumping the same way, but like
I know, but
I'm gonna get. Let me keep talking. I'm gonna reach
the jumps they're doing. It would put me in the hospital.
Okay, yeah. Scotty, really, as we've talked about many times, have fallen in love with riding off road. We just don't get to do it a lot, and even here we don't have that many types of. We don't have that many series. The GNCC races I've done have all been so much fun, and I wish we had more of that here.
There's not a lot of public land like there is in
that's
other
that's the other problem. But I have kind of.
What do you mean? You have Barnwell? They have the TC series every other weekend.
Yeah, but it's a little. I don't know. Maybe, I guess I need to do some of the TCRAs because I haven't. The only one I've done was Barnwell.
That wasn't a TCCRA.
Oh, okay, it was an enduro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, either way, I haven't really had the experiences I've had with GNCC in Texas yet. But when I go ride moto, I usually am thinking a lot of the times like, man, I sure would like to be riding some single track, jumping over some creeks, especially when you see clips from like our next guest, Liam Draper riding, or Stu Baylor, the different things. Like, I'm like, dude, I want to do some of that.
Yeah.
We can get back to this topic. Let's get to our first guest of the night. He's going to be brought to you tonight by Racetech, which is the world's largest aftermarket motorcycle suspension modification company. They have over 40 years of experience providing factory-level suspension to the everyday rider. For nearly 40 years, Racetech has been supplying the motorcycle industry with high-quality suspension components made right here in the USA. From modern to vintage, Racetech is your go-to source for suspension performance. Visit racetech.com, find your local service center, send your stuff in, get it worked on, get to know your local tech. Tonight, Racetech brings us from the Ampro Yamaha team, the 2025 U.S. Sprint Enduro champion, our buddy Liam Draper. What's up, Liam?
Not much. How are you guys?
We are good. So right off the bat, congratulations on another title, man. A 450 title.
Yeah, no, it's thank you. It's pretty cool to get my first full 50 title, and first full season on a 450.
Now you moved up early last year or mid-season last year. I think you did the last 4 or 5 GNCC races in the XC1 class. Second, over and over and over. So you knew you were going to be good. But you've been better in the Sprint Enduro series than GNCC based off your results. Has this year overall gone as expected coming off those multiple second places last year?
Maybe not so results much as planned. I kind of set the bar high in my first four rounds on a 450 with not leaving the podium. So coming into this year, I had pretty high expectations, and we started off with a full quagmire mutter at Big Buck, and I didn't finish. And then, yeah, it kind of hasn't been as great. I've only got 3 XC1 podiums this year. So it's been a little tougher to come to grips with considering where I left off last year, but it's all learning, and we've had some races that have been ones not to remember, that's for sure.
Well, the first 3 or 4 were GNCCs were got hit by weather pretty hard, right?
Yeah, feels like every time we go to a GNCC it wants to rain, other than this past weekend and maybe a couple others, but yeah, a few have been pretty treacherous.
So I was curious about that. If mentally you set, like you said, set the bar too high. I was curious if you're like, oh man, I'm going to get some wins. I'm going to get a bunch of seconds. I'm good to go. And then things don't go well at the start. If that kind of hurts you, like if you got in your own head a little bit as the season's gone on.
Yeah, a little bit. We're in summer break now, and I'm definitely ready for a little bit of time away from a motorcycle, a week or so away, and kind of hit the reset button and figure things out this summer and hopefully come back to where I left off last year. But no, I've definitely, you got to look at the positives too. Can't all be bad. It is my rookie year and an XC1, and these boys are no joke, but I did leave the bar high.
Yeah. I can see that though. It's easy to do. You get you get excited, right? I mean, it felt kind of easy last year. Let's talk about though your first U.S. Sprint win. That was, I think, was it round 2? Was that your first U.S. Sprint Enduro win? Talk about what that felt like. Moving up to the 450 class. What is that called in Sprint Enduro? It's not XC1. It's what is
they
that?
call them Pro 1.
Pro 1. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
How was that win? What did it like? How did it feel when you crossed that checkered?
Yeah, no, it was good. Obviously, last year I had been sick, and every day we raced for 2 days at the sprint. So I'd been second to Johnny every day last year for 7 rounds. So obviously Johnny's one of the fastest sprinters in the world. He proves it at 6 days. So he won the first round, and then we went to round 2 and kind of sandy conditions. And I won day 1 by 1.2 seconds over 6 tests of racing. So
yeah,
I had a small lead off the day 1, and then day 2 we shared test times and we're going backwards and forward, and I went into the last test like 0.05 of a second ahead of him after an hour of racing, and I think he made a couple mistakes, so I rode really good and I ended up winning the weekend by 4 seconds, and I put all 4 seconds on him in the last test after 12 tests of racing. So it was definitely a good feeling and a nice one to get off my back to finally beat him.
Yeah, and your results I think you were only off the podium on 1 day of racing, all U.S. Sprint series.
Yeah.
It's good, Liam. You got to be proud of that, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. The sprints I enjoy them a lot. They're a good series, and it's kind of a little more laid back for us than a GNCC weekend where there's a lot of lot of tension and just it's obviously the premier series.
Yeah.
You know, that's where the bread and butter is at GNCC. So sprints are a little more laid back for us and things like that, but it's a good series.
Yeah, Liam, how does that work? How do you able to balance the time between both series? How much do they overlap, and how does that work out for you?
Well, normally last year they didn't finish till after GNCC's last year, so they were pretty spread out, and now we're done at summer. The start of this year was super hectic. We were racing back-to-back weekends and just kind of knocking them out, but no, they're good. They're just, as I said, they're just a little more less stressful, really. You go there on a Friday and everyone kind of bikes around, and then you do a test, which is anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes, and then you have a 30-minute break, and we all get together and talk about the test, and then you go out again, and it's kind of more fun, really, for us.
Is your bike set up for both similar? Do you kind of use that one to test for the other kind of thing, or is any of that part of it?
The bikes between Sprint and GNCC both bikes are identical, basically. The GNCC bike just has a bigger tank, and we run a fan on it, and that's about it, really. They're pretty identical, really.
So you've kind of already answered this, but I want to get a little deeper into it. The difference in enjoyment for you between Sprint Enduro and GNCC, is it really just because it's less pressure, or is it the different style of riding, the shorter tests? It's also 2 days. So what specifically do you like more about the Sprint Enduro?
I would say I really like a sprint format. You know, it's puts you on the edge and makes you really have to hit your marks and remember those tests, things like that. But yeah, I mean, it's probably just a little less pressure. You show up. I just show up in my truck, and I'm fortunate enough to have a mechanic who comes in a Sprinter van, and we race and get a hotel and go home. There's no semis and stuff like that. So it's a little more low key, where at GNCC there's, 8 semis there and teams and et cetera. At GNCC there's, thousands and thousands of people. At Sprint Enduro there's maybe 500 people there.
Yeah, you had me at 8 minutes of riding and 30 minutes of break. I'm in.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And we're all like good enough buddies, like myself, Craig, Johnny, Cody, and we're all good enough friends. We race each other hard, but after the test we all sit back and talk about the lines and who went where, and we'll go biking together. So it's kind of fun.
I actually like that aspect of it, Scotty, that it kind of made me think of Canadian motocross, where like all the riders are going to each other's trucks and they're shooting the shit, where you don't really see that at pro motocross or even GNCC too much, where they're intermingling. And actually, like, that's why we ride, man, ride with our buddies. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I say, and I say, you say 8 to 10 minutes for you guys. It'd probably take me 45, and then I'd be ready to start the next one before the break after the break was up. So
no, they're normally roughly 3 miles, 3 miles of grass track and 3 miles in the woods.
Let me ask you this, and we had Cody Barnes on last week. Was it last week he was on? I think so. Scotty? Yeah, last week. And look, those XC2 guys are really in the mix this season. I mean, actually,
pain in the ass.
Yeah, pain in the ass, right? Because I think if overall you're, 6th in points, right? I think you're fourth in XC1, third in XC1. So why are the XC2 guys more in the mix than in years past?
I think we just have such a talented couple guys, Grant Davis especially. I mean, I've told people this a few times, I think he's like the jet of off-road right now. And you get 12 plus XC1 guys in a train right off the start, and you put 10 seconds between 10 guys, there's your minute, and they start a minute behind us. So if you get one or two, Grant, Cody, and Gus are probably the top 3.
Yep. If
those guys can get a good start and sprint for a few miles, they're going to catch the tail end of us. And we get to these races where we have a 2-mile bike only section that's fresh for us. So you got the first guy in XC1 breaking trail, laying the line down, and then 12 guys back. There's a pretty good route. And then you get your first XC2 guy who's got a perfect trail to follow. So
I didn't think about that.
I personally think next year could change with Grant moving up to XC1. I'm not sure that there's going to be some more guys just yet that'll push that pace early. I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. I was probably wrong that Grant was going to do what he did this year if I was to bet on it. But yeah, like we go to the jump in after summer, we have last year it was 5 or 6 mile bike only Penton section. So that's all hand cut, fresh single track. There's no dozer. So when you get the front XC1 guy, I think Grant went into the Penton section last year at the back of XC1 and came out like 5th overall.
Oh, wow. That's pretty impressive. But yeah, that is a big advantage.
You know, we lay down a nice line and push over some brush for him. But you can't take it away from the kid. He's very special right now, and he's pretty incredible to watch, especially when he comes by you.
I bet. I know how that feels.
It's frustrating.
I know how it feels to have faster, more guys go blowing by me. So I feel that. You talked about the brake a couple times, and you kind of need the brake, but are there a couple specific things that you really want to work on, whether it be technique or bike settings or something before you go racing again? Or is it just you need to relax and rest and kind of reset?
I'm going to go on vacation for a week and with the family and kind of relax and not look at a dirt bike for a week, which would be nice. And then I actually had a bike sent to Florida. Kindly enough, Jesse Ainsley took one down there to Zach's place, and I'm going to go down to Zach Osborne's place this summer and ride some outdoors and have some fun and do a little speed and moto stuff in the heat down there. I'm trying to sweet talk Yamaha into maybe letting me try to do Unadilla, try and qualify.
I dig that. Yeah, we want to see that, Liam. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, so there ain't no telling. I may not even make it, but I'd love to try.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hey Liam, I saw a video last night of a 4-wheeler smoking the side of an SUV.
At Snowshoe.
At Snowshoe. I was curious. I saw a bunch of comments. I don't know what actually happened. I was curious if you knew what happened or what you could say about it.
I think there was a little miscommunication with the guy running the road up there. I think he waved the car on a little too early. But yeah, someone got screwed in that deal. Well, 2 people did, the car and the quad guy, but they shut the road completely down for us after that happened.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There was big fences put up and no one was driving through.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, I guess because that was on Saturday, so they kind of figured that one out.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. I know some buddies that rented a house right at that crossing and watched the whole thing happen.
Oh, wow. Damn. Liam Draper is brought to you tonight by Race Tech. He's also part of Yamaha Motor USA, our presenting sponsor. I've got a few more for you. Caleb Russell on the team, and a legend, hasn't gone as well as he had hoped. I don't know what your relationship is with Caleb, how well you guys get along, but what's it been like having a guy like him on the team?
Yeah, it's been good. I spent the month and a half, 2 months almost at Caleb's place down there in Florida this preseason. It's probably one of the best off-road facilities for the wintertime down there in Florida. It's about 2-3 miles from the GNCC track. So,
cool. Yeah,
it was good. Me and Caleb get along, and it's been good having him on the team. Definitely brought some light, well, not attention, I should say, to the team at first, and it's been good.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. I know he's frustrated. I've seen his posts and stuff, and I interviewed him before the season, and his expectations were very, very high. So kind of like you said earlier, right, setting that bar maybe a little higher than he needed to, and but I think it'd come around. So
I would love to hear some inner helmet cam of when the 250 guys or XC2 guys are passing him. Like, when the hell did this start happening?
Right.
Couple more things for you. You mentioned Zach Osborne. He's been helping you and training with you a little bit. What are a couple things that Zacho has helped you with most? Because, I mean, obviously he's a motocross guy. He did do off-road a little bit, but he's not necessarily known as an off-road guy. So how did he help you?
Just having a super good structure and like things planned out. Zacho's big help there. You know, my weeks have been I've been working with him just over a year now, and it's planned out on Sundays, and things can change during the week. And I talk to Zach almost every day on the phone and after riding. And, you know, he's been at the bottom of the barrel and he's been at the top with the highs. So just having someone, you know, to talk to when you're in the hole and when you're on a high is super cool. And his knowledge, obviously, and now being a trainer, it's been good. We did a lot of work. Kind of last year, he came out to South Carolina to the shop, and we did a few days on the bike and helped with some speed stuff. So I'm hopefully this summer when I go to his place in Florida for a few weeks, we're going to do the same.
Nice. Yeah, he's good, dude.
Yeah, Liam, you need to get the full Zacho experience and take a tent to the next GNCC and just sleep in a tent for a week before. Maybe you'll get what you need to go.
Right? Yeah. No, I think I'll stick to my camper.
Yeah, I'm out on tenting.
Because didn't he do that?
Yeah, in Europe he did it. So yeah.
In Europe, I think. Yeah, I think you'd be hard pressed to find Zacho in a tent, especially at a GNCC. The guy's wigged out on ticks.
Yeah, he's past that. I noticed no ISD this year, at least unless I missed something. What's up with that, dude?
I actually have never been to ISD.
I know, but you just won the U.S. Sprint Enduro Championship.
Yeah, no, New Zealand doesn't really want to send a team I'm willing to go with. There's a few guys in Europe, New Zealanders that are racing that didn't want to do it this year. So I kind of want to wait for a good group of guys, some guys that I grew up riding are racing in Europe. So I'm going to wait for them.
All right. I have two questions from the VitalMX forum, but before we get to those two questions, and we'll let you go after that, I want to ask about your son, Cammy, I think is his name. He started racing and seems like he's having a really good time and really finding a passion for it. How has that been, getting to see that and just being a part of, the next generation?
Yeah, it's been cool. He raced the 50 electric. He's racing old GNCCs this year, actually, and it's been good. He loves it. It's kind of cool to get up on a Saturday and watch the kids race, and he has a blast. And now we got a gas powered 50, so he wants to ride every other day, just about.
That's awesome. All right, last two questions. These are from our VitalMX listeners. JDog2221 says, ask you about living with Stu Baylor. Do you have a good story about living with Stu Baylor?
I'm sure.
Man, how long do you want this podcast to last?
Yeah, you want to give us a amended version.
There's a lot, but yeah, living with Stu was definitely very eye-opening. You know, he was kind enough, him and Jay, to take me in when I lived in a van for 2.5 years, but oh man, bow fishing, maybe drinking too much, and riding on the roofs of trucks through car washes, and there's been many stories.
That's
probably
perfect.
some that shouldn't come out.
Well,
I was going to ask,
that's
like,
a good little teaser.
Average nightly beer consumption over or under 12. over.
It's funny, like a lot. Like I thought the same before I met Stu, and he sure does put on a good show.
Yes, he does.
And has some fans twisted on what's actually going on.
Yeah, that's true.
But,
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, you can't win races or do as good as he does.
Yeah,
and drink that much.
Right. Yeah, I've
check his shoulders out. They're pretty damp.
Yeah.
If you go over the back.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, last one. This is Boxcar Willie on the forum said he'd like to know your favorite food and drink in the U.S. and New Zealand. Anything you miss at home?
I miss my mom, like a good home cooked lamb roast.
Okay.
From home. Yeah. And what do I like over here? Shoot, I don't know.
Nothing stands
out. Chick-fil-A. Chipotle is probably my go-to over here.
Dude, chicken fried steak. Come on now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably Chipotle.
All right. Well, Liam, dude, again, congratulations on the title. good luck on the second half of the GNCC series, man. We gotta get some wins, man. We gotta get some wins coming in. But
right. When are you coming back?
That's a good question. So you probably don't know that you follow it, but I won't be with Vital anymore after the next couple weeks. I'm at Vital for 2 more weeks. And some things are changing a little bit. So I definitely want to come back. Randy's told me anytime I want a bike, I could do it. And then actually Stu offered me a bike anytime I wanted. So I have some opportunities. I do have a goal of coming back to Ironman and getting 4 laps because I've never done more than 3. So I got to be a little better. So I would like to come back to Ironman this year, but it's still kind of up in the air with my new schedule.
Gotcha. Well, come on. Yeah, Ironman's always a good one.
I know. I'll let you know. And I think Haley Shanley, who does the the pit side stuff for Supercross, she's talking about doing GNCC Ironman maybe. So, and there's I think Starling wants to come back this season, or this year. So I think a bunch of guys want to do it. So you may see me. I'll let you know.
Nice. Good deal.
All right, well, Liam, have a good break. Enjoy some time off. And, yeah, we look forward to seeing you back soon.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
You got it, buddy. Take care.
See ya.
That is Liam Draper tonight, brought to you by Racetech and Pro Yamaha's Liam Draper. Good dude. That's cool. Good fun.
The GNCC guys.
I thought we were going to go.
The GNCC, the enduro guys, off-road guys, however you want to call it. They're always so.
Enduro is definitely I know we're dummies.
Off-road guys, it's mute to the point, but they're always just so even-keeled and laid back, and they're always fun to talk to. I enjoy getting to talk to those guys because you can tell the pressure's not the same.
Yep.
And it's just they're just doing it really more or less because they just really enjoy doing it. I mean, I know that the moto guys do it at the core, but there's a lot of expectations and pressures that get kind of added onto it over the time and the success that they have. But those guys are just, they're just, like he said, he was just talking about, we do a test and then we kind of hang out and chit chat and talk about it and move on. And it's just, I don't know, it's just really cool getting to that other perspective.
We're going to try to focus more on some off-road stuff coming up. We have a lot to learn. I didn't really think about the fact that the GNCC is sort of like the premier, the supercross, right, of off-road. And then the U.S. Sprint Enduro is probably maybe more like arena cross or something. I don't know, or less pressure. I didn't really think about that. So that's interesting. I like learning those new stuff. There is a really good, if you guys are big off-road guys and don't, On the Pipe is a really good off-road podcast. Those guys have helped me out a few times. So if you're not listening to that and you'd like off-road stuff, man, they really know a lot more about it. We're going to get there, I hope. We're going to do more of that stuff, but give those guys a shout, man. They're cool dudes. Let's do the X-Brand Forum check-in. We'll try to do Evan's cool emails and then get to Alex Campbell. Good with that, everybody?
Yeah.
Cool.
What if
Chase?
I'm not?
I won't tell you.
We can walk out.
What? Yeah. X-Brand is your choice for clear vision and a leader in motocross and off-road goggles. X-Brand is used by many of the top GNCC riders, supercross, motocross, and arena cross riders, including guys like Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Noren, Henry Miller, Michael Hicks, Richard Taylor, and more. Visit eksbrand.com or go to your local dealer and ask for X-Brand distributed through WPS. They are my goggles of choice. We've already mentioned multiple times. There's other branding guys riding those things, the Alpine Stars, the Ride, what the FXR one's called? Ride. It's not Ride Limited. Why am I blanking?
I don't know. You have to tell
the
me.
FXR goggles. Wow, I suck right now. And FXR is like
you're wearing FXR hat too.
Yeah. Anyway, those are X-Brand.
Yeah. All right, just move on.
Right
I suck. Still, it doesn't matter. I blew it. Anyway,
Maverick Prime.
Huh?
Maverick Prime.
No, it's like Ride Limited. It's not right though.
Factory Ride.
Factory Ride. Thank you. Factory Ride.
There you go.
You were limited in brain cells.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. I'm limited on my brain cells. Okay, so the X-Brand Forum check-in tonight is titled, wow,
Factory
Your Track Day Rituals.
Okay.
Posted by Defeatus45. Where do you stop on the way and or coming home? My youngest used to love stopping for a sausage biscuit on the way and absolutely had to have a slushie coming home. Great times, man. They grow up fast. And some other, let's see what some of the other responses are. Crutcher said, being from the Midwest, 2 slices of Casey's pizza is a mandatory after a long day of moto. Another guy, my son and I always stop at McDonald's on our way home after a day of riding. So when I first saw this title, I was thinking more like, even when you get to the track, what's your ritual? So that's kind of what I want to know. Give me your rundown, Chase, when you know you're going to a track, like what you load. Just give me some highlights. What you do before you leave, where you stop.
Can you do this on the air?
Yeah, you're asking the wrong person, dude.
Just, you know what, come on now. And what you do when you get there.
Dude, I don't load anything until the absolute last second. So there's like a 60% chance I forget something most of the time. But
60% of the time it works.
Yeah, I've got to stop for breakfast on the bun from Whataburger.
Okay,
that's almost a mandatory.
Yeah,
couple Red Bulls, mandatory, and then
a couple peaks in the helmet, mandatory.
Yeah. Then I sit around more than I ride usually, and then we got to get some Mexican food on the way home.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I'm on board with you now.
Yeah, Mexican food, Tex-Mex, whatever on the way home is a must for sure.
Okay, well, give me a little bit of your rundown again. MotoXpod show at gmail.com. Let us know your rituals.
I'm actually kind of the opposite of Chase. Like if I know that I'm doing something, like I slowly pack throughout the whole week, get ready for it, and like I'm really good about like I'll take I'm usually if I have groceries at the house, I'll make sure that I prep like some sandwiches.
Yeah.
I usually like having like a turkey and ham sandwich with some cheese and at the track I throw that in the cooler with some chips or maybe even like some celery and peanut butter something like that. A whole cooler full of water.
Yep.
I go through and godly amounts of water when I'm out there.
Sure.
And then I do like a Mickey D's breakfast on the way. Maybe.
Dude, I am a big egg McMuffin.
Yeah, a sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin.
I've been trying to stay away
I
from
did that. I did a sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin and a Dr. Pepper on the way to the TCCRA. It was so good.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't like Dr. Pepper, but yeah,
a little bit of the caffeine
to
get me going because I didn't do a I didn't want to do a coffee and be just fully jacked. So I just did the Dr. Pepper. But yeah, that's in a. And this, I know this probably doesn't conducive towards my riding, but I usually burn through a good amount of cigarettes on the way to the track.
Man, I'm dumbfounded by anybody that smokes cigarettes anymore. But okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm a last of a dying breed, I guess. But
I wish it was a dying breed.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Yeah, if you catch me in the truck on the way to it was burning through them, man. I get my adrenaline's going and just going.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
Tex-Mex on the way home for sure. Like chips and queso and like a chimichanga. Like I'm so in.
All right. So I pack a lot of water. I've been big on the Rhino Power hydration stuff lately. I also like the LMNT because it's real salty. Yeah. I will make a roast beef sandwich sometimes or a peanut butter jelly and honey sandwich. That's a Heather Kiefer got me on that. So that's what, and I like to check my air pressure. Bleed my forks,
I do all that,
and like lube my chain, all that stuff before I leave.
Oh no, I do that. I do it. I like to get to the track a little bit early.
I do too,
and then do it there.
I like to get there early, but I like doing it in my shop where it's not.
I just feel like it's going to change. I don't know.
It probably does, but it's just easier. I got my air right there and all that. So I do. Since I've had my shop, I do that before.
That's
I
probably
leave.
Smart.
Sometimes I'm trying to think, and then just get there, unload, normal. Everything's kind of normal. I will hit McDonald's a lot. Yeah. Also, because usually we leave for the track so early, I don't.
It's the only thing open.
I don't feel like cooking breakfast that early. But if the track has a concession, got to get a breakfast burrito. That's a must. Yeah. Bacon, egg, and cheese, maybe a little chorizo
for sure.
Ride 3 or 4 motos these days. Try to do 3 to 4 20s, and then on the way home, I'm like, we've got to get food. Tex-Mex is definitely the number one option.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do other stuff but Tex-Mex,
food in general, like we've talked on here. Yeah, I get legit hangry.
Yeah, you're done.
I got to eat, bro.
Another thing that I forgot is I usually at least have a cooler beer.
Oh, I'm out of that. Obviously,
I know you don't. I know y'all don't drink.
I will bring one Coke. That's sort of my reward when I'm leaving, and I never drink the whole thing.
Really,
Kiefer kind of got me into like they buy the minis.
No, the mini Cokes.
But those are like $3 more.
I know it's more expensive. It doesn't make.
I would rather. I
thought about
buy
getting
a full
those
one and dump it out.
Yeah,
throw it away.
Yeah, it's more expensive.
I drink it like half and then I'm done. But that's sort of my little treat when I'm leaving the track.
Yeah,
and then I'll drink another bottle of water with like Rhino Power or whatever. Flavored stuff. I feel like there was something else I was.
I do. It's if I'm not in the mood for a beer, a Dr. Pepper is after the way home is good. One or the others on the way home is happening.
I know I'm way in the minority with the beer thing. Just I don't get it.
Yeah,
I don't like beer. I never have.
It literally tastes like piss smells.
It tastes like it.
And everybody goes, well,
horrible.
it's an acquired taste. I don't want to acquire that taste, or you're drinking the wrong beer. And I've tried 4, 5, 6 different beers. They all taste exactly the same.
I remember when I was 12.
I drank beer.
That was actually, oh shit.
Don't throw it at me. I'm sorry.
That was actually pretty funny.
I drank beer 4 years, and I never acquired the taste. I never liked it. If I drink, it's liquor, and I don't like the taste of it. But at least I don't have to drink that much of it.
I mean, it's a little shot, and I'm good.
I say a beer, but it can be. It's Crown and Sprite a lot. It's that a lot too.
Okay,
it's something.
Now you're talking about language.
Yeah. I can't. Other than that, like those are kind of my rituals. Other than the normal stuff, getting.
I put my right boot on first.
Oh, you're one of those guys. I might.
I think I'd do that anyways by default.
Like I might, but I'd never think about it.
It's my right.
I have no idea if I do something like that.
Another thing I do.
My iPod.
Oh,
if I forget my iPod, it ruins my day. Like that's why I didn't qualify. It was an AMA race.
Oh, you couldn't do it.
Couldn't have anything on your helmet.
You could have ran it inside and behind.
Velcro's outside.
You could have put another piece of Velcro inside behind the pad.
It would have been.
Done it to the
I've
shell.
never tried, but I feel like I'd feel that.
Yeah, you probably would.
Another. I don't know if this is real. This is more of a superstition than it is a ritual.
Say that word again, please.
Superstition.
I feel like he slurred it.
Hey, I have a speech impediment. All right, we're going to talk about it. So it's just
we can give you tongue twisters.
It's just something my dad, I think, inadvertently did. I don't think he really it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
All of his gear bags throughout the years always had like $1 in it, just like a folded up dollar. It was just in the bottom of the bag, and I've just kind of carried that on. Like every one of my gear bags has a folded up. It's not like in a spot anywhere. It's just kind of in the bottom. Just kind of floats on the bottom, and it's just.
I dig that.
It's just kind of a tradition that I've always done. Is just a folded up dollar in the bottom of the gear bag.
All right, Evan's Coolant emails.
Yeah, let's do it.
Evan's waterless coolant protects your engine because it always stays
liquid cool.
Just liquid.
Liquid. Okay.
Steaming inside the engine creates hot spots and detonation. But with Evans, the metal is always
liquid cooled.
Boom. Used by HRC Honda, Factory Beta USA, and Pro Factory Yamaha, Liam Draper, Caleb Russell, and many others. Regardless of sponsorship, Evans is in the bikes on the podium. Evans Coolant emails. Okay. I have one. It's really long. So I haven't read it. So this could go south quickly.
Let's hope it does. Let's hope so.
Yeah, this is from, let's see, what's his name here? Dallas Rasmussen. I think came in last week. Hey, Jamie, sorry, I'm just not a big email person, but I forgot to email you back about the Indianapolis Supercross. They sent you an email about where he had asked me where to sit for good seats. Yes, I think we even talked about it on the show. You had the...
can I say something real quick?
You can.
It is funny how all these guys call and ask y'all where to sit and stuff. Y'all don't know. You haven't sat in regular seats in years.
I know where I would sit if I was sitting in regular seats, though. I would not. I would never sit in the lower deck.
But it's funny.
It's an upper deck. Middle deck, at least.
Yeah, middle's good. It depends. Sometimes sitting lower is cool.
No, because you can't see the other side of the
track. I know,
track.
but just being there at that level is cool in some points. But sitting up, but it's just anyways, it's just funny that they call all these guys that are in the media and that haven't actually been to a race in that capacity in years and ask them where to sit. Like they don't freaking know.
Lower level's cool if you're drunk.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe that's why I liked it.
Okay, he said, you told us at least in the second section, and we had the 8th row in that section, and the tickets were so awesome. I just wanted to say thank you because we had so much fun, especially watching drunk people riding the electric scooters all over downtown because our hotel was only 3 blocks away from the stadium, and it was perfect because we could walk everywhere. And then I get into my job stuff. Let me scan this real quick.
I will say the last last 3 or 4 years at the AT&T Supercross, I've found that the third level in the middle section for the Cowboy Stadium is called like their Silver Club.
Yep.
And they have bigger, they're wider seats, they're cushioned, there's more room, they have bigger cup holders and all that. And since it's just a Supercross, they're about the same price as like sitting on the second level or first level.
Yeah.
So I've been getting those, and we are the The area that you go into is better. It's got better concessions and bars and stuff. You can actually get like smaller lines, nicer bathrooms, and it's about the same price. You're a little higher up, but like just the seats are cushioned, and it's just a way better experience.
Get a dozen people together and split a suite.
It used to be the move, but they're so expensive now.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
About your job with Vital, I knew you would be just fine. Yeah, I did. I don't know if I said anything last week or not, but I did take a job. We'll talk about that later. I knew you would be just fine. Just years back in 2008, I had a voicemail from my boss when I woke up because I drive all night and sleep all day that said, call him before I head into work. I was told on the phone due to tough economic times, they're closing down a terminal and I need to come in and get my stuff. And they fired all 9 of us just like that with no severance pay or anything after 11 years. He keeps into some more stuff, so I'm not going to read all that right now. I'll scan through it later, and if there's more to get to, we'll get to it next week. Okay, one more email, and then we'll work on getting Alex on. What is a trait? This was asked last week. We didn't get to it. We saved it. What is a trait about yourself that you would like to change? You think of anything? I've got a few.
You'll go ahead.
Okay, so one of mine is I guess emotional, or I get wound up like those, even with the show stuff, like you guys have seen.
That you can multitask?
Well, just like dealing with things in general. Yeah. Like I get really high or really low pretty easily. Like when I lost my job or whatever, and I was down. I was legitimately freaking depressed. I don't regulate that very well. And then it flows into other things in my life, and it sucks. Mm-hmm. Like who would want to be around somebody that's negative like that, right? And I get negative. I definitely do. I'm pessimistic when things are not going well. Mm-hmm. I would love to be able to change that. I don't know how to, but I would love to. I'd also like to not get so have such a lack of patience. Dude waiting for a red light to change or waiting for somebody at McDonald's to move. I'm like, I have zero patience. I don't understand why it's taking so fucking long. Move.
It's because you don't like beer.
Probably. So those are my 2 number ones that just popped in my head.
I've got both of those. On the way here, I got pissed off and threw Gatorades back in the cooler because they were taking too long at the register and stopped again, which obviously took me longer, but I was pissed. And they were like, we got to switch over something. I was like, all right, whatever, dude, I'm leaving. But no, probably the worst is I procrastinate everything. I don't work on anything unless I have some kind of deadline.
Yeah.
I can't get ahead on anything. I just wait until I have to do it or I won't do it.
I'm a little bit there too.
Yeah, if I wasn't like that,
I'm better when I have like structure.
Yeah, me too.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's one of my weak points at Vital, for sure. I would say ML would tell you, like, it was hard for me to be like, I'm going to come up with this thing to do and I'm going to do this tomorrow. Like I'm a lot better when I'm like, tomorrow, this is what you're doing. Cool. I'll go get it done.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, I would say one of mine would be, especially since now that I'm in a more of a management position, like I feel sometimes I may be a little too lenient. Like I give the benefit of the doubt too much.
Because you're kind of a nice guy.
Yeah, in like sometimes I wish I could kind of be more of an asshole.
Sure.
Which I mean I can when I have to be, but like
not easy though. Not for me.
To still contain the moral fiber that I'd like to have and do it, it's like kind of a fine line. So that's kind of what I'm experiencing lately. I would say definitely ditto on the procrastination, and I used to have that with you guys where the patience, like someone pulled me over in a red light and like or pulled in front of me or whatever. Like I'd get so pissed off at stuff, and like I don't know, it was hard, but I just forced myself to not do it anymore.
I have examples probably every day, but this is one that stood out to me, and I even got mad at myself. I stopped at Chicken Express to get a sweet tea. It was at the one in Longview. It was 10:30 in the morning. I'm not sure they're even open at 10:30, but there was somebody at their. What was that? Oh, there was somebody at their window. So I pull up to where you order from. I roll my window down. 10 seconds, 15 seconds, not a word. F you, dude. I'm out.
Yeah, they weren't.
Yeah, I'm the same way, dude.
But do they not know you're there? There's a car at the window.
We may not have a headset on yet. Okay, they're probably trying to open up and get that freaking chicken ready.
It's possible they didn't know I was there, but that's something. Even when a place you pull up,
they knew you were there.
That is open. if you don't say at the very least, be with you in a moment within the first 5 seconds.
Open, bro.
Screw. Okay, I don't care if they say they are open. That happens all the time. You pull up and it's 10, 15 seconds before they even, or you pull to the window. You order, you go to the window, and nobody comes to the window and says, be right with you, or here's your drink. They just leave the window shut for 30 seconds with nothing. That shit pisses me off.
We're making other people's drinks
Open
and shit, dude.
the damn window and say, we will be right with you.
I'm probably already.
You know I'm here.
Whataburger.
I know you're there.
I don't know that you know I'm there.
Yeah,
have my damn drink.
Did you
ready
not realize?
When I get to the window?
Did you not also realize that there's 4 other people behind you and they're taking their order now? And if I let them wait more than 10 seconds, they're going to be just as pissed off as you.
Hey, I ordered before them. You deal with me first.
When a vehicle pulls from the order spot to the window, by the time they get to the window, the very least you should be topping their drink off.
Yeah, we usually are.
But a lot of times
when we get busy, not necessarily.
You're great then, Scotty. Okay. But it happens all the time. You pull up and you're just like, they wait till they give you your food to give you your drink. No, bro, open the damn window.
If we're not busy and I have people doing that, it pisses me off.
Yeah. Whataburger after 11 o'clock is the worst about what you're talking about.
If we're busy, then y'all just gonna have to have some patience.
You have to acknowledge the person,
dude. If you go eat at 6:15 along with everybody else in the same town, you're gonna have to wait for your food a little bit.
I'm fine waiting for the food. Open the window and say it'll be just a few moments. Don't leave that window shut until the food's ready 3 minutes later.
You
have to acknowledge the people.
Sometimes I'm taking orders that whole time.
Open the damn window. Be right with you. Acknowledge the customer, bro.
All right.
Dude, it's shitty.
We do, but it happens.
I'm not talking about just you. It happens all the time.
I'm speaking for everybody. It does. Some places are worse than others.
Okay, so you work at a fast food place. Why do I order Whataburger? Okay, this is Whataburger, so you don't work there. You probably don't know, but maybe you can give me some idea of it. And then you pull up, and you're in line. There's 3 or 4 cars in front of you. So it's 5 minutes at least before you get to the window. And then you get to the window, and it's another 5 minutes.
It's because they're cooking it to order.
Cook it when I order it.
They are.
It doesn't take 15 minutes to make a hamburger.
But they're already having to do that, guys, and that, guys,
but
and
they
that,
should have started that, guys, 15 minutes before he got up there.
It's way more hectic than you think it is.
I've got another bone to pick with Whataburger. What a burger. What a burger. The ones around here are all owned by one investment company, and it is like $4 a meal more.
Oh yeah, I've noticed that.
If you go to one in Dallas, it's like $13. Yeah. It's 17.
Oh yeah, the ones here.
We got to get Alex on the phone, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know. We kind of went down a rabbit hole there.
Yeah,
I could throw hands over that.
I don't go to Whataburger anymore. It's lost its touch.
I hear you. All right, our next guest of the night's on the phone. He's going to be brought to you tonight by Guts Racing. Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew continue to provide the best seats and foam available. If you want the same seats used by Rockstar, Husqvarna, Hep Suzuki, and many more, then you need Guts Racing. They have numerous color possibilities, staple or Velcro installation options, wing seats, and the best foam in the business with the Phantom Ultralight Seat Foam. Don't forget they have complete seats for the Talari and Super 73 and covers for the Sur-Ron Segway, and they strive to ship orders within 36 business hours. Visit GutsRacing.com and order today. Tonight, Guts Racing brings us from the Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing Team, Cooper Webb's mechanic, 5-time championship winning mechanic, if I have my numbers right, Alex Campbell. What's up, Peanut?
How you guys doing? It's good to be on the show, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's been a while since we've had you on here, and that's my bad. But, dude, I'm stoked to have you on. Stoked that my guy Cooper Webb and yourself got another title in Supercross. Look, man, we were talking before the show really got going. You have won 2 250 Supercross titles with Dylan Ferrandis, a 250 outdoor and a 450 outdoor title with Dylan Ferrandis. But the 450 Supercross championship is kind of the pinnacle of the sport. Did it feel different?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Supercross is 17 rounds. It's the longest series we have. And just to have the pressure and the stress for that long, I think it makes it the pinnacle. And obviously, that's what everybody is chasing, that goal in the sport. So to pull that one off, it feels different. It's hard to describe the feeling, but it's definitely different than any other championship I had won.
Okay, so we will hear like Steve Mathis say, hey, the 450 outdoor title, though, as far as a mechanic, is more difficult. 2 motos, brutal conditions. Having your machine survive a motocross race, as far as mechanic goes, to me, would be more difficult, more impressive than a supercross race. So is there a comparison?
Yeah, I think that's true. Outdoors with the gnarly conditions and then the 2 motos, like, you know, it's just 17 main events that pay points for supercross.
Mm-hmm.
And then outdoors, it's 2 motos each weekend. It used to be 24 motos. Now it's 22 motos, you know, for a whole summer. So more opportunity for something to happen. So I think the outdoor title, as far as the bike, is gnarly, but supercross is just, it's different. You know, it's a very like high pace, like for mechanics wise, just, and there's only 50-second lap times in supercross. So there's a lot going on the floor. So it's just a lot more stuff. Like you're trying to hit your marks just like the riders are, you know, so they're both difficult. One's harder on the bike, but you have more time as a mechanic during the race, you know, to figure out what you need to tell them. But supercross, not so much time. So they're different, but both gnarly.
How have you liked your time with Coop? You know, we said you work with Dylan. Dylan was fairly well known. He's pretty demanding on what he expected, and you know, just a different personality. How have you liked your time with Coop?
I've had a really good time since I started working with Coop in 2024, and second in the Supercross Championship. Obviously, he got injured like halfway through that one, so we missed outdoors, but working with Coop has been good, and we're actually like off the track. We're good friends and hang out and spend a lot of time together. And before working with him, I didn't know him at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little different than Dylan because Dylan was just strictly a working relationship. So it's a lot different in that sense. But I mean, success with both of them is great. So
yeah, for sure.
It's been fun.
You and your teammate mechanic Jelly, Josh Ellington, who works for Eli, very, very successful wrenches. Not every mechanic gets that kind of success, so it's really cool to see that. I do want to ask you something based off something you just said, being friends with Coop, becoming friends with Coop. I love Cooper, man. I feel like I know Coop decently, and I always tell people, a lot of people don't like him because he's kind of cocky, and I told him when he was on the show a few months ago, I didn't like you, Coop, when you were on 250s because of your attitude. But he's not that same guy in real life. He is, when he's race face is different than who he really is. Tell us something about Coop that might surprise the listeners or they wouldn't expect about him.
Man, it's tough, I guess. Like, you're definitely right. Like 6 days of the week, he's, you know, pretty like laid back, I would say, and like having a good time. Obviously, when we're at the track and at the farm, he's pretty serious. He like takes the job very serious, but it's still not like Saturday. Saturday is a whole different Coop. Like, like you could be hanging out with him on Friday at the semi, whatever, and cracking jokes and having a good time. And then if you don't see him till track walk on Saturday, he comes out of the motorhome and he's got his game face on and it's race day. And if you even like his best friend, you know, like they'll get on his nerves on race day if they're annoying him and stuff like that. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's a different mindset on Saturday than it is any other day of the week.
Sure.
But what I could say is that people don't like his attitude or like you didn't, you know, because you only see him at the race and you only see him from his interviews on TV, and that's how he is for racing, but that's not how he is off the track. He's actually a good person and he likes to have fun and he's just a normal guy, just like you and I, you know? So, what you see on TV isn't how he is all the time. So what you see on TV, you shouldn't just take him for that.
Perfect. Got it.
Yeah. Kind of a little bit further on that. To me, I always give him the credit for being the greatest gritty rider of all time. The gritty goat is what I call him, because he's just he's so gritty goat. And he always finds like a way. He always finds a way to win. Like, as your guys' rider mechanic relationship has matured, how did your expectations of like how the race day was going to go, based off maybe mentality or what practice did or how the bike was going? How did that kind of change the further you guys got to know each other more?
I think like when you see him get like a 7th in qualifying or something like that, it's like you might think like, wow, he's a 7th place guy. And a lot of people probably do. But I think that just fuels the fire. Like, qualifying is important. Obviously, your heat race gate pick. But like when he's not doing the greatest in qualifying or something like that, I'm like, all right, it's on. Like when he comes right out for the night show and is ready to go down to the gate, like he's going to be fired up. Everybody's doubting him at that point, probably because he got 7th in qualifying or whatever. So I think that part has like kind of been a little bit of a learning curve. Like you're like, all right, you don't have to worry about Coop. When the lights come on, he's gonna be there. And like you said, when the opportunity is there to win, like he's gonna take full advantage of that. He's gritty and he's gonna give it his whole effort, the whole main event. So I don't think you ever have to question his like want to win, you know?
So like when y'all first started, would you, an 8th place quali would come back, would you be like kind of expecting a full on fire drill? Like we got to change the bike. And then like, now that, yeah, it's going to be fine. We'll just get them at the night show.
Yeah. At the beginning, I was kind of worried about that because you do a lot of testing in the off season, and we went to Anaheim 1 and 24 and I was like, man, I don't know what to expect. I hadn't worked for Coop at a Supercross and like, I don't know what he qualified there, but I'm just like, all right, here we go. Like whatever is going to get thrown at us, this is when it's going to hit. And it wasn't that way. Like I like to say, like some riders' panic button is a lot bigger than others. And he was just like, all right, we're good. Like everything's going to be fine. Obviously you do a little tweaking on the bike, but it was nothing crazy, And then that setting actually was really good. And he raced all 24 on it. And until almost the end of 25, just with small minor changes here and there that he never really doubted or questioned the bike. So that was like, honestly, a really good thing. And I got to give credit to the whole team on setting up the bike like that. But it was like, he knew he had a bike that could win and he just needed to be in the right place at the right time and he could make it happen. Yeah. So I never really had to worry about like him questioning the bike, which was nice.
Sounds like an easy job for you, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of testing that went on before that.
I know.
But And like you say, you never know what you're going to get. Are they going to question the bike or them or whatever? And whatever they say, you got to kind of do or check. And no, he's straight up, like sticks to what he knows and, notes from last year's Supercross and stuff like that. And I think like when he sticks straight to the facts, like that's a good thing. Like you're not trying to play with emotions and things like that just because you're trying to keep him happy,
Yeah. Coming into the 25 Supercross season, things weren't looking good, right? He had a little bit of an injury with the thumb. He was kind of keeping it on the DL for a little bit, and it got out. But then he was also sick, I think, at the first couple rounds. Were you concerned at all leading into that early part of the season? And were you surprised how he turned around and eventually won the title, or kind of not surprised with Cooper Webb?
No, I was a little concerned, obviously, going into the 25 season with what was going on and all the stuff, and then being sick a little bit here and there. And then our whole goal was just to make it through the West Coast swing, the beginning part of the season and just kind of be there, the top 6, stuff like that. And Phoenix is always, like, people always give Coop a hard time about Phoenix not being one of his best venues. Right. And we had press that day, and every person that came up to interview Coop and asked him about how Phoenix typically isn't a great venue for him. And then, and that kind of like pissed him off, honestly, I think, because I think like 8 of the 9 people that just even asked him one question were like, hey, like Phoenix isn't typically good for you, whatever. And I think it fired him up and he ends up getting on the podium in Phoenix with the Triple Crown. And he won the he won the first main event, I think, there. And from then on, I was like, wow, like that was a really good moto for Coop. Like, we just wanted to get through the West Coast swing. And then now he's on the podium in Phoenix, which is supposed to be his worst track of the year. I'm like, all right, now he's locked in. Like, it's going to be time to kind of buckle down and try and knock off some podiums.
Dude, that Glendale Phoenix race was awesome. I love that track. Yeah. I'm sure you didn't like it because it was so hard on bikes with those massive jumps, but
yeah,
man, that was a cool race. That was, if you guys remember, that was like Eli was.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Eli was unbelievable in that the second race, and oh man, what a cool event that was. But there was a couple rounds in Supercross, Alex, that really stood out, where Sexton to some degree, Sexton did himself in, right? Like Arlington, Tampa, but Cooper never really relented. And there's all this talk about his racecraft. He's got the great racecraft, but he doesn't have the speed. And I talked to him multiple times about the speed, and I disagree. I know you're probably more in tune with what his lap times are, and I disagree. I think he does have that top level speed, but he just looks different on the bike. They don't really look at the lap times. They just think he doesn't look as fast. So anyway, I'm going too long on this question. Would you dispel the theory that he doesn't have top speed?
I think he has the speed. He wins races like Indianapolis. He led the whole race and won. Like, nobody caught and passed him or anything like that. So to do that, you have to have the speed. And then Glendale, that first moto of the Triple Crown, like he was leading and Jet was behind him in that first one, but Jet pulled up to him and then couldn't pass him. So Coop leveled up. He had the speed, I think it's a little different in qualifying. Like some guys are really good in qualifying, and then come main event, they don't have that extra edge, to give it during the main event. But Coop, when he has that carrot in front of him and he's, second, third, or right in there and kind of racing the guy in front of him, he finds the speed. So I think he does have the speed. I just don't think he shows it in qualifying.
Okay. Was there one moment during Supercross, and I have some outdoor questions too, but was there one moment that you felt was sort of the pivotal moment in the season? For me, I would say Foxborough in the mud when he put that last lap charge on, but was there something that stood out to you?
Foxborough in the mud was a good one because he just sent it that last, lap and a half or whatever and saved his season because he was sixth. He was in sixth before that, I believe. And then, man, I don't know. I think there were so many good moments that it's tough for me to pick an actual one that was like, all right, this is good. Pittsburgh was a good one. Obviously, that was coming down to the end after the break. But yeah, it's tough for me to pick an actual one. I think there was a lot of good races.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Indianapolis, I was impressed with, and then Pittsburgh with him and Chase being 1-2. I was impressed with that one too. There's a lot of pressure on that race. So, yeah, Foxborough in the mud's a big one. You gotta that one. You can't forget about that for sure.
For sure. Scotty, you got anything else on Coop? I feel like I've asked too many Cooper Webb questions.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard not to, right?
But do you have anything else on Coop? And then we could, because I have a bunch of Alex questions.
Well,
oh man,
yeah. So I was just the only thing to kind of talk about outdoors a little bit is obviously you guys went from a championship fight to just like, hey, we're just trying to get SMX points. How is that changed?
I disagree with that statement. I don't think we're just trying to get SMX points. I think Coop wants some championship outdoor points. He's just building.
Okay, all right.
That's my opinion.
How has the mentality changed from Supercross to outdoors?
I think it's a lot different. Coop hasn't raced the whole outdoor season in quite a few years. So after the Supercross championship, we went to Paula and Hangtown with no pressure, and we had quite a bit of pressure. You don't realize it in the Supercross season. I didn't feel a bunch of pressure while we were there. But then when we got to Paula and we were just there to race outdoors and kind of having a good time, I was like, wow, actually, I guess we did have a lot more pressure on us than I thought. But the mentality, I think, is still the same. You want to go out there and you want to do good and you want to win, but you got to kind of realize and call a spade. All right, these guys are going to be at the front, kind of we want to be right there too. But let's get through the first few races. Let's get our feet underneath us and stuff like that. Figure out the bike a little bit, and then kind of go for it down the stretch at the end. Obviously, by then a lot of the championship contenders will be figured out, but you can still gain a lot of points in the outdoor championship and hopefully be getting on the podium,
Yeah.
So it's a lot different mentality compared to the last half of the Supercross season, but I mean, racers, they want to do good. So there's still some pressure there for that.
Alex, Campbell tonight brought to you by Guts Racing. So yeah, you did a really cool video with Chris Kiefer that's up on Racer X's YouTube. That's Vital's competitor. So sorry if Vital gets mad at me for mentioning that, but there's a lot of cool stuff within that video. You talking about just little secrets of the bike, or things that you do with the bike, things that Coop likes. But I want to know what little trick parts are your favorites on the bike. What things do you look at and you go, that's cool?
So on the side of the head, there's a water spigot that goes into the head for the cooling system, and that is made in-house at Yamaha shop. And I think that is a pretty cool piece. It's a piece of billet, and there's just a lot of time in drawing into that piece that is cool, because the stock one comes plastic, and if the bike gets hot and stuff like that, like, it could create a problem, I guess. So we have a billet one there. I think that is a really awesome piece. Man, it's tough because the tie brake pedal tip, I think that is a cool piece. I mean, I look at it every single day, so it's hard for me to pick out an actual piece. The shock body, the KYB shock body is an awesome piece. Like, just like machined parts and things like that is what I think is cool. There's a lot of stuff that people can't see from the outside that I just think is cool. And then, like, outdoors, you're in a carbon tank and it's oversized. I think that's cool. Just stuff like that. Like, but yeah, I'd say the billet spigot on the side of the head is probably one of my favorite pieces. It's just a small piece. A lot of people probably don't care about that, but I think it's cool.
Yeah, I think that the tech guys, and there's a lot of them that, at Vital, we do pit bits and those little things that people pick those things out in the photos. Certain guys like that stuff. And yeah, those are really cool things. How about when it comes to working on the bike, limited time, especially between motos, outdoors, or maybe on a Triple Crown, limited time? What are a couple little tricks you have for bike prep that save time that maybe other people don't think about? Do you have anything?
I have air filters already on cages. I have spare plastics already prepped, with grip tape on them and stuff like that for the side number plates. Just anything you can think you might need, like, is already in the truck ready to go. Like, we kind of have like a rule, like, if you're putting it in the semi, it needs to be ready to be bolted on a bike. So, anything you can think of that's going to set you up to, if you have to change a part, be better off. That is obviously going to save you time, and like at some of the outdoor races, there's no halftime. So I think it's like from the end of first moto to first call of second moto is like 53 minutes or something like that. So you got to wash and prep your bike, change oil, clutch, or rear wheels. So the tire's already on it. Things like that. So just always being prepared, and even trying to think ahead, like, hey, if this is happening, like, I have one of these ready in there, like, you don't want to think about bad stuff happening, but you got to be prepared for it. So, yeah. One thing we do is we have oil bottles already in the truck. Like, we don't have to measure oil between motos. So if we're changing oil, we just grab a bottle out of the truck. It's already pre-measured and dump it in. Like, just that little stuff that adds up to save you 2-3 minutes here and there,
That's when washing bikes. This just came to my mind because I always worry about this. Is in the past anyway, people were worried about getting electronics wet. Do you have any tricks? Do you guys silicone anything? Have any special covers to kind of help avoid that?
Yeah, I mean, they do some RTV filling stuff and things like that. So, like, things can't get wet and can't get water in them. And then actually something, when I used to work on Hondas, we used to cover the kill switch with nitrile glove. And now we do that here too. Just like one of those things, just once you've had it happen to you, you're like, all right, I got to do this to prevent an injury. Like, you don't want or prevent a problem. So you don't want the same problem to happen twice. So if you can prevent it, obviously you're going to do that.
All right, I got two more questions for you. These come from Vital MX forum members. Let's do this one first. Boxcar Willie, and I don't know if this question is going to make sense to you or not, but he says, who's cooler, Jack Lane or Luke Wilder? Which those guys are District 23 off-road riders. I have to assume he knows that you know those guys.
Yeah, those are like my best buddies from riding back home.
Okay,
man, that's tough. I like them both equally. Those are like those are the guys I grew up racing with, and used to take me to the races and stuff. They're a few years older than I am. They got me into the off-road racing series in District 23. So, man, I don't know. That's tough. I like them both equally.
I heard your wife in the back laughing. Right? She's Minnesota too.
Oh yeah, those are our good friends from Minnesota.
All right, last one then. Spark a Lounger just kind of wants to know your story. You've come on here before and told us how you got into the moto industry, how you became a mechanic. Can you give us a brief rundown of that? You grew up in Minnesota. Like, how'd you get in the industry?
Well, I grew up in Minnesota and rode dirt bikes. I grew up on a farm there and just rode dirt bikes for fun until I was like 16. Then I got into off-road racing, and I mean, I was never any good. Like, I was never going to have that be my job, like. So I wanted to get into the industry, and I moved to Florida. and went to MMI, and then I just met the right people at the right time. And Peyton Stevenson, who works for Ken Roxon, actually as a practice mechanic, I met him when I lived in Florida, and he worked for the Grundles at the time, and I got to go out to their place, and then just one thing led to another, and finally I got in at Geico Honda working for RJ Hampshire, and the rest is kind of history. That was in the end of 2015, so this is my 10th season now as a professional mechanic. But yeah, it's just like one thing just led to another, and it's not about who I knew, it's about who knew me. And Peyton was there, and when he heard somebody needed a mechanic and shouted me out, so then I got a job, and then just one thing led to another, and now we're here.
Peyton's rad. I love Peyton. Good dude.
What's funny is actually we were at Peyton's, has twin daughters, and we were at their first or second. It was their first birthday party. It was their first birthday party, and Coop was there with his daughter, Indy, and that's when I first started talking to Coop, and he ended up coming to Star that fall. That was in the early part of 2023, and at the end of 2023, he came to Star. So that kind of got the ball rolling for me working with Coop then.
That's awesome. I'm a massive Coop fan. I'm not really supposed to be partial, but I am a little partial to Coop. But anyway, we'll skip going any deeper in that. But another cool thing for our listeners, and YouTube may not know this, Alex's wife, Courtney, does PR for Yamaha. So when you see Eli going up on the podium afterwards, or them handing the pretty blonde that's handing them water is Alex's wife. So they get to go to all the races together, spend time together. It's really cool.
Yep. She started doing that a couple of years ago, and then it just makes it easier for us to see each other more each year, rather than me being gone 5 days a week and her being at home waiting for me to come there.
Yeah, it's awesome. Really cool to see both of you. Always enjoy saying hi to you guys. And I'll be at Redbud, so I'll see you guys in a few weeks.
I'll see you at Redbud, and then you should come to Millville. It's the best race of the year.
Well, we'll talk off air. There's some changes going on in my career, Alex, so Millville may not happen, but that is my favorite race of the year. I actually agree. I've never been to Redbud for a national. I've only been for the two Motocross Nations. So
that's sick.
Really?
So this will be my first Redbud, but other than that, I would agree Millville has always been my favorite.
That's actually surprising. I feel like a lot of people have been to Redbud, because it's 4th of July weekend and stuff like that typically. So
I've just never, I've never gone. We're going to change that this year. We'll talk. We'll talk in a couple weeks, but things are changing for me, so things are going a different direction. But we will see you in a couple weeks, though.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on.
You got it, Alex. Have a good night, buddy.
Yep, you guys too.
All right, bye. That's Alex Campbell, again, mechanic for Cooper Webb. Good dude. Brought to you tonight by Guts Racing. That's good. That's a fun interview, man.
Yeah.
It's probably been a couple years since we've had him on.
I like that he just he actually knows his rider and was actually giving us real insights about how they handled things, and just wasn't he didn't give open-ended answers, very, very good answers to the questions. I thought it was a good interview.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I watched the Chris Kiefer video today because I wanted to see if there was anything within that about the bike that I wanted to ask him about specifically. But then, it got pretty deep, and I was like, if I ask these questions, it's going to be pretty obvious where I got it from. Pretty obvious where I got it from. But it's good stuff. Chris's videos are always good, and, good stuff. So, all right, let's get to our last few segments. We'll start wrapping this thing up. We had no race this weekend, so there's no Pro X Vital MX Fantasy recap. If you're not playing Vital MX Fantasy, you should sign up. It's free. It is a lot of fun, but we'll go ahead and do this Pro X read, because if you ride, you're going to need parts for your bike, and Pro X is the place to go. Pro X is rooted in racing, from motocross to off-road, and supporting teams such as, once again, Ampro Yamaha, Liam Draper, Pro Circuit Kawasaki, and SLR Honda. They've been supplying quality components for almost 50 years for complex jobs, like an engine rebuild to simple maintenance, including filters, chains, and sprockets. Pro X aims to bridge the gap between OE quality and affordability. You can find Pro X at your local dealer or visit pro-x.com and search for parts for your bike. Let's do the ETS Racing Fuels read. No turds take this week.
Can we make ETS Racing Fuel a Lewis update?
Lewis is doing good. He did the MXGP podcast today.
Okay.
So he's
waiting on that.
He's starting to feel better. It's out. I think it's up.
For sure, I'll listen to it tomorrow.
I believe it's up. I'm positive it's up. He said it was still a little bit more tiring than he thought to do it, but he's getting there. Like he sounds way better today than he did a couple days ago. So yeah, he's getting there.
Good. Yeah, dude, what he's going through, I went through it when I was younger. And it sucks.
I think at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, I don't know what all he wants out there, but like Epstein Bar, like he feels like dirt. You know, he's just tired, exhausted.
Of just being fucking exhausted.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time. He expects to be back at Redbud, I believe. Good. So him and Chase.
We'll get to reunite. Yeah. Oh, everybody, just cool.
Damn, I'm going to Redbud. Hell yeah.
ETS Racing Fuels was forged from the heat of competition nearly 30 years ago, developing purpose-engineered fuel for high-profile teams and highly competitive series. We have been the power behind many podium wins ever since. I got to get new glasses. Teams using ETS Racing Fuels have won more than 50 national and world champion titles, and we continue to forge new alliances and partnerships across motorsports. ETSRacingFuels.com to find your local distributor. They support teams like Factory KTM, Factory HRC Honda, Rockstar Husqvarna, Rockstar Gas, Factory Triumph, and many more. All right. TBolt USA top 5. This is the one where we like to laugh and be stupid and talk trash. Vince called me earlier. Vince, TBolt USA top 5 I think he's happy with what we've been doing. He's going to stick with us for a while.
Sweet. Oh, yeah.
He's coming along for the ride. Maybe TJ will be doing some pit bike YouTube content in the future.
Sweet.
We got lots of cool stuff coming up with TBolt USA. And if you are a pit bike enthusiast and you love shredding around on a CRF 110, KLX 110, or whatever you use, you need TBoltUSA.com bookmarked on your web browser. TBolt USA is a pit bike supply site that has everything you need for your pit bike. You can find handlebar kits featuring BBR and Pro Taper bars, D&M shocks, and even full bikes from YCF, Pitzer Pro, and Piranha. TBolt USA has it, and they have stuff for the Chinese bikes as well that you know are very difficult to find parts for. They can help you find something that will match at the very least. You'll find pit bikes, engine, and parts at TBoltUSA.com. TBolt USA top 5 this week. I think last week I did say it was going to be like
the
animals,
non-animated
movie animals, but we threw a wrench in there, changed it up today. Top 5 friendship movies. So movies that involve friendships in some way, form, or fashion, which is damn near every movie to some degree.
Much.
So it could be almost any movie you want, but try to focus more on the friendship aspect. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I'm good to go on this one.
Let's do it.
I've got these in order too. So at 5, I've got Tommy Boy.
Okay, good one.
Yeah. Damn. 4, I've got The Hangover.
Good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. At 3, I've got Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2, I've got Step Brothers.
I like that. So far, they're all good, and I haven't none that I picked. That's
okay,
cool.
good.
Yeah, I haven't picked one of them.
2, I got Step Brothers.
Yep.
And number 1, all-time Dumb and Dumber.
Didn't even think about that.
I hadn't either.
I mean, it's pretty much the whole movie about their dumbass friendship.
Yeah. Good list, Scotty. Good job.
Felt good about that one.
Can you imagine if TJ was in here, what his list would be?
Milo and Otis or some bullshit.
It probably wouldn't be any friends whatsoever. It'd probably be.
I think he's been in and out of the chat. He needs to put his.
Stop acting like an idiot. You're the idiot. Don't be an idiot. Changed my life.
We never use this one either.
That's what she said. Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way.
CJ.
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Soggy pizza rolls.
Yeah, dude, that's perfect example.
He just gave me one, and it's actually on my list.
What was it?
I'll go next. All right, so I went a little deeper, a little bit. I went with My Girl. You guys remember that?
No.
Macaulay Culkin and the little girl, and he dies against the beast.
That was
sad, right?
That was torture as a kid.
How about Toy Story?
I watched that the other day
that's on my list.
Okay.
Super Bad. That's one TJ picked.
Super Bad's a good one.
I went Clerks, one of my all-time favorite movies, because you could go Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
Or Dante and Randall.
I'll put Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
So
put
almost any of Kevin Smith's movies because of Jay and Silent Bob, but Dante and Randall and Clerks is so great. I love it. And then my number one was I put Goonies.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
I also put E.T. in there because it's same concept, but Goonies was my number one. Honorable mention: Winners Take All.
Okay.
All right. Rick Mellon and Bad Billy.
Okay.
The friendship. It falls
I've
apart,
actually never
but then they
seen
come
it.
back.
Where do I even watch it?
Do you have a DVD player?
It's probably on YouTube.
I have it. Yeah, I think it is, but I have the DVD.
Okay.
I'm kind of like.
Hey man, by my parents,
right
they never.
I haven't
saw
watched it in a long time, but yeah, I've seen it.
Chase, go for it.
I didn't put them in any order, but number one, Sex Drive.
That's actually a good movie.
Yeah, the movie cracks me up. It's stupid as hell, but it cracks me up. I put The Hangover 2, and then not The Hangover 2, like The Hangover as well.
Okay, I got you.
Jay and Silent Bob, Tenacious D. That's one of the best.
You know, I've never watched that.
Dude, you need to watch that.
Jack Black kind of gets on my nerves.
He kind of gets on my nerves too, especially as of late.
Yeah.
But it's a fucking awesome.
It's just
movie.
a little too much.
It's just over the top.
It's sort of like I'm not even like Adam Sandler now. Like those movies get on my nerves now.
It's stoner comedy.
See, I still love Adam Sandler.
Like I love Happy Gilmore, but like the other ones,
like Big Daddy.
Big Daddy's okay, but like Waterboy annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah,
it's just too much when he does. I don't know, man. It was cool at the time, but now for me, those movies just don't hold up.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not excited about Happy Gilmore 2 at all.
Oh no, they're gonna ruin that.
Yeah.
I mean, they just like they did.
It probably won't be as bad as most of the other remakes because it's him and all of those guys, but it's not going to be what we want. I said I didn't put them in any order, but this is number one. And that's Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Yeah,
that's a good one. I remember seeing that in theaters because I
wasn't that young.
Yeah,
I'm not that old yet.
Yeah, I was 22 probably because maybe 23. My son was pretty young, and I remember going. Yeah. I am Cornholio.
Yeah.
I need TP for my bunghole.
Yeah, they did. They did Beavis and Butthead Do the World a couple years ago.
I didn't watch that.
It's not.
I
bad.
say, is this goddamn all the time?
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Hit us up with your lists. MotoXpodShow@gmail.com. I wonder if Lewis is one of his would be the In-Betweeners, which is a great TV show, British TV show. Yeah. And there was a movie.
The UK one was good. They did it In-Betweeners, a US version. It was
really?
It wasn't good.
Well, there was a movie, but I feel like he said he didn't like the movie like he likes the show. I could be wrong. He got me into that show. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is funny. I don't remember how I found out about it, but I watched it. It was on Netflix or something, and I watched
Lewis and Sean told me about it. And I checked it out, and I started watching the season. I never got all the way through it, but it was really good stuff. MotoXpodShow@gmail.com. We want to hear your lists. Barnett clutches, pick one. Barnett Dirt Digger clutch kits have 75 years of experience behind every kit. Engineered for maximum performance, Dirt Digger clutch kits feature friction materials formulated exclusively for Barnett. Get yours at barnettclutches.com and get 10% off with code VITALMX, all caps. Maximum performance. Don't you want maximum performance? I want maximum performance.
I just want a bike.
I want Barnett clutches. Yeah, no kidding. Borrowing a bike. What a loser. All right. Here's the pick one. Save money or you only live once.
You only live once.
Yeah. This isn't a pick one. It's you only live once. You can't take it with you, dude.
I'm kind of getting old, and I'm like, man, maybe I should save some money. I don't have any money to save, but I feel like I should be saving it.
Just go look at my savings account, and you'll see the answer.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Same.
Well, every time my savings
account
every time my savings account gets to a place where I'm like, cool, man, I got something happens.
Yeah, every time.
Take all it out, or I guess I'll build it back up again.
Yeah,
all right.
Every time.
Well, that was.
Did you really think? What did you think we were gonna do?
I don't know.
We ride dirt bikes. We clearly make bad choices.
Every one of my hobbies is expensive.
Yeah,
every one of them.
Okay, well, easy enough. That went fast.
That's what she said.
All right.
Doyle rules.
FXR is designed by racers for racers with industry-leading fit, finish, and performance. Progression is the name of the game with every new piece created. FXR will push our brand to the next level to provide you with the best products possible, including factory ride goggles. Used by Muck Off FXR Club MX, Yamaha, Mike Brown, get well soon, Brock Tickle, Chris Kiefer, Benny Bloss, and many more. FXR has core motor roots, so visit FXRRacing.com or go to your local dealership to see the complete 2025 line. Go to your local dealership, check it out. FXR, we did our picks for Southwick last week. Chase, you did not, so first things first, give me yours.
450 or 250?
450, Bo.
Tomac.
I was going to say, bro.
What the hell was that?
Hell yeah, Bo.
450, Bo.
Hell yeah, Bo. Look at dang old do a big old Tomac on there first.
E.T. phone home. First place.
Jet second, and then J Coupe third.
All righty, and we are going to redo Scotty's to see if he matches with last week.
I want to go Tomac.
Okay.
Jet.
Okay.
AP.
Everything but third place. You had
Hunter. I
Yep.
had Hunter.
All right, we're sticking with Hunter.
Okay.
You're sticking with it. Mine was Jet, Eli, AP. So that is pretty much our show for the night. I want to thank Race Tech and Yamaha Motor USA, X-Brand Goggles, Evans Coolant, Guts Racing, TBolt USA, Barnett Clutches, ETS Racing Fuels, FXR Picks.
TJ said save money and only live once. Something an idiot would say.
Pro X. I want to thank Liam Draper and our guy, Alex Campbell, 5-time champion mechanic, man. I wonder what his bonuses are. I thought about asking, but then he probably wouldn't tell us. Dude, what a job, though. What a job. Great job, Alex. Great job, Jelly, his teammate with Eli. Just so many championships between those guys. I want to thank our listeners for being in YouTube. Don't forget MotoXpod channel, YouTube. Go find that thing. It's a blue logo. If you can't find it, DM me. We'll send you a link. We'll figure it out. But the more you guys subscribe, the more you watch those old videos, the quicker that will come to the top of the search bar, I think, as we grow it and start adding more content to it. Please help us out. We appreciate you guys. We'll be back next week. On that, we are out of here.